Good morning, guys. It's me, Mina. Finally, we have booked this trip, and it has been totally exhausting. Um, we started using a bunch of websites that I'm not going to give names because they're not paying me to endorse. But what I will tell you is do your research and start early. A lot of the websites that we use, if you use the mobile app, they'll try to give you the discount. Usually what you find out is once you go into those websites, unless you have someone from customer service navigating you through the website, you won't be able to do it by yourself because it doesn't always give you the 15, 30, 10, 5, whatever percentage is off that they have promised you. We started again yesterday, but we had to quit because we went to the movies, and that was pretty cool. But this morning, I was determined, overly determined, to get up this morning and book our trip, flight, and all of that for my best friend's birthday. I was overly determined. So we finally did get some dates in place and some things like that. Now we're going to go through probably picking out some things to do once we get there. We are staying at an airport location hotel mainly because we tried to go into a bunch of sites to book the hotels, to look at places that were closer in the city. But price-wise, since we're at such a late date, the representatives and I went back and forth, round and round, things like that, trying to get our trip booked. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to stay at any of the probably the local places or the local chains in Paris, which is okay. That's fine with us too, but it does mean that we're going to have to budget a little more money for this trip to be able to leave where we are and or see if the hotel shuttle drops you off close to train stations and things like that. But we'll figure all that out once we get there. They did tell me that you have to arrange for an check-in early because most hotels, as you know, do a 3 p.m. check-in policy. We're flying on a real late flight the day before, so that means we'll get there really, really early in the morning. So I have to call back to the hotel to ask them to try to reserve that. But that doesn't mean it's going to be available. That just means I'm asking. And hopefully they'll be, maybe to be able to do it. But what I did find out in this journey was it's a lot of leg work. You go back and forth, round and round and round and round and round. There's no quick way. So what I ended up doing with the representative was we're leaving out of 2 different airports, if that makes any sense. We're going to leave out of Dallas Love Field in the beginning, and we're coming back through DFW to make it a little more cost efficient. Now, logistics-wise, I don't really think it's going to be a problem finding somebody to pick us up, take us to the airport, this, that. But if it is, it's still not going to be a problem because we might do park and ride or park and share. The things that they have at the airport. Might take a cab. We don't know. But we figured it out. And so now I'm down to my list of things that I'm taking on the trip. I know that this is left to right, but I can read it to you because reading is left to right. And then when you video and you tape, things go in a different direction. So I don't have that mirror thing. So now the things that I've looked through my bag to see that I have that I need are things, little essentials like Tide sticks, wipes. We're going to take some snacks for the plane. I got to make sure these are the earbuds that I want to take or whatever because this is a very long 11-hour flight and we have a layover in Atlanta even though we don't get off the plane for this first layover for the first leg. I was going to buy a universal charger, but when I was shopping, one of the women told me that may or may not be a great idea because guess what? They may have converters there. So we'll see. I'll ask when I call back to ask for early check-in. I'm sorry I'm picking in my eye, but I just can't see. Then I have to get a few things like Ziploc bags. My best friend always tells a story about she thought we were going to get arrested at TSA because I went over there and picked up all those Ziploc bags that they had at the little stand. But believe it or not, guys, those Ziploc bags in my backpack have come out to be so useful. So even though, I picked up probably, in retrospect, maybe 2 boxes when we were going to the Bahamas a couple years ago, I've been able to kind of still use the same TSA Ziploc bags, but I put them in one big Ziploc bag and taking them on our adventures. So I did get the money belt, as you saw. I got medicine bags instead of being able to take my pill box, because I don't want to deal with it opening and doing all that strangeness, and I think that's easier to take through TSA. I'm going to take some of my favorite books. And since we went to see Ocean's 8 last night, sorry about that, I really never got a chance to see the other Ocean's movies. I would always come in on different parts, or I didn't go to the movies to see them. So I've seen different pieces at different times, but I have seen the original black and white that it's based on. So what I'm probably going to do is use my Netflix and download all of my Ocean's movies that I haven't seen for the 11-hour flight. And I do know that they have flights, in-flight movies, but that'll be a good time to catch up with the series. And I may watch a couple of other movies that have come out in sequel. But for right now, know that we're booked, locked, loaded, and we are ready to travel. Please subscribe to the channel below. That way you can get updates on our trip as we go along, such as things like the day we're leaving for the airport, going through TSA. I know they're not going to let us tape all that, but, just certain things about what I want you to see while we're in Paris. Things that you might want to do with your family. Thanks. This is Mina signing off. Bye-bye.